Imagine this. You start speaking, and before you can finish the sentence, someone steamrolls right over you. Your instinct screams, "Let me finish." But that's exactly the move that makes you lose respect. Because the second you beg for space, you're communicating that the space isn't yours. And then you step into their game, volume, speed, agitation. But power doesn't live in noise. Power lives in control of the rhythm. And here's the Stoic twist almost nobody uses. When someone talks over you, the most dominant move isn't to compete. It's to stop, cut the sound, hold your gaze, and use a short, surgical phrase that turns their interruption into a spotlight aimed at their lack of control. In this video, you'll learn 6 smart Stoic phrases that make anyone stop interrupting you without raising your voice, without sounding aggressive, and without falling into, "Let me finish." And the 5th phrase is the most dangerous of all because it sounds polite, but underneath, it puts the conversation back in your hands in less than 2 seconds. Most people misunderstand what's happening when they get interrupted. They think the interrupter is winning, and the only way to win back is to push harder. So they talk faster, they talk louder, they start repeating themselves, they lean forward, they force, and the room doesn't read that as strength. The room reads that as need. Stoicism teaches a different principle. Don't fight for what's already yours. Hold it. Epictetus warned that we don't control what others do. We control what we do with what they do. And the moment someone interrupts you, there are 2 battles available. The small battle is for airtime. The bigger battle is for composure. If you lose composure to win airtime, you still lost. So before we go into the phrases, you need the frame that makes them work. Conversation is a spotlight. While you're speaking, the light is on you. When someone interrupts, they're trying to grab the light. If you wrestle them for it, the audience sees chaos, 2 people clawing for attention. But if you stop instantly, something counterintuitive happens. You hand them the spotlight completely while they're behaving poorly inside it. They're left alone with their rudeness, and you look deliberate. This is what I call weaponized stillness. Not silence as fear, but silence as control. There's an old Stoic idea attributed to Zeno. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, not to be passive, to prove that restraint is power. People who can't tolerate a pause often interrupt because they're anxious, not because they're confident. They fear the void, so they fill it with themselves. And once you see that, you stop taking interruptions personally. You start seeing them as data. This person is driven by impulse. This person is trying to dominate the tempo. This person is leaking self-control. Now, with that foundation, here are the 6 phrases, plus the delivery that makes each one land like a command. Phrase 1. I can tell you have something to say. Go ahead. I'll wait. This one is deadly because it removes the resistance they were pushing against. Interrupters expect friction. They expect you to fight. When you calmly yield, you communicate security. But it's not submissive. It's structured. I'll wait signals that the conversation is paused by your choice, not broken by their impulse. You're granting them space, not losing space. Say it slowly. Neutral face. Then stop. Let them talk. Don't rescue them. The more they talk, the more the room feels the imbalance. Phrase 2. Please finish your thought and then I'll finish mine. This is the Stoic virtue of justice in sentence form. It's fair, it's firm, and it creates a social contract in front of everyone. The delivery is everything. Pause, look them in the eyes, and speak with a low, calm voice. No sarcasm, no smile that asks permission, just structure. This phrase protects your point. It tells the room, my thought didn't disappear. I'm not done. And it positions the interrupter as the one breaking order. Phrase 3. Silence. Sometimes the smartest phrase is no phrase at all. When they cut in, you stop immediately. You don't sigh. You don't roll your eyes. You don't look away. You hold a neutral expression and steady eye contact. They'll often stumble because they were expecting a reaction. Most interrupters are fueled by momentum. When you remove momentum, they suddenly have to carry the moment alone. That's uncomfortable. When they finally slow down, wait 1 extra second, 1 sovereign second, and then say, as I was saying, and continue exactly where you left off, as if their interruption was a passing cloud that didn't change the sky. Phrase 4. I do want to hear your point. Are you jumping in because you thought I was finished or because you don't want to hear the rest? Use this for repeat offenders and people who are testing you. This isn't an accusation. It's a mirror. You're pulling the hidden dynamic into the open. Most interruptions run on autopilot. This question forces the other person to engage their rational mind and recognize the social contract they're breaking. And notice the Stoic posture here. You're not angry, you're curious. Curiosity is control. Most people will retreat with, "No, I thought you were done. Go ahead." And you've reclaimed authority without ever raising your voice. If you're getting value from this, and you want to build the habit of protecting your inner peace and growing in maturity every day, subscribe to Stoic Spring. It's a small action that compounds, because the more you train your mind, the less the world can drag you around. Phrase 5. I'm going to pause you there for a second. I wasn't quite finished. This is the most dangerous phrase because it sounds polite, but it's a boundary with teeth. The key word is pause. It implies you have the remote control. You're not begging, you're managing the interaction. And I wasn't quite finished is a fact, not a fight. Facts don't need emotion. They don't need volume. They just need weight. Most people say this with whining energy. "Hey, I wasn't done." The Stoic says it with downward calm, a flat tone, no heat. You're signaling, "I value my words enough to protect them." Phrase 6. You seem passionate about this. Why don't you go first and I'll follow? This is a refined version of yielding, with psychological framing. When you label them passionate, you subtly frame the interruption as emotions spilling over reason. In Stoicism, that's not strength. It's a crack in self-command. And at the same time, you position yourself as generous and composed. You step out of the arena. You refuse to fight for scraps of attention. Here's what happens often. When you give them full permission to speak, they suddenly have less to say. The thrill of interrupting disappears because there's no resistance to push against. Now, how do you apply this in real life without overthinking it? The moment you get interrupted, you'll feel your body react. That inner surge wants to fight, wants to prove itself, wants to reclaim respect through force. Notice it. Name it. Then release it. Tell yourself, "I'm not here to win a shouting match. I'm here to protect my dignity." Then choose your response based on the situation. If it's casual and minor, use phrase 1 or phrase 2. If it's someone doing it for attention, use silence and, as I was saying. If it's a repeat offender, use phrase 4. If it's aggressive and disrespectful, use phrase 5. If you want to disarm tension and expose excess emotion, use phrase 6. But remember, the words are only half the weapon. The other half is your tempo. Interruptions are attempts to control rhythm. When you refuse to rush, you win. When you refuse to raise your voice, you win. When you refuse to look rattled, you win. The world is full of people terrified of quiet. They fill every second with chatter so they don't have to face themselves. Don't join them. Be the contrast. Be stillness in the storm. Because the goal isn't just to stop people from talking over you. The goal is to remain unmoved, even when the room gets loud. That is the Stoic way. That is real power. If you want to lock this in, try these phrases this week and observe what changes. You'll notice something. When you respect your own silence, people begin to respect your speech. And before you go, comment the word composure. It's your signal that you finished the video and that you're committed to mastering your tongue. Subscribe to Stoic Spring and turn on notifications. Your life improves when you build the habit of protecting your inner peace and growing in maturity. Stand tall, stay sovereign, and let your silence speak as loudly as your words.